Hi everyone and welcome to the Tony Tonkin Show. I've for some time been considering, did I make a mistake around Donald Trump? Now, for those of you who have watched my videos, then I suggest that you might be wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Well, there were many of us in the anti-Trump campaign who decided that perhaps Trump was going to be a catastrophe in the United States and that he was going to destroy their economy and a whole host of things, I guess, that would be rather unpleasant. I'm going to talk about today whether or not that is the case and whether or not it actually matters. So what I did was I punched into ChatGPT a question or a statement, I guess. No, it was a question. What personality traits does Donald Trump have which most people find objectionable? And I was thinking about because a statement came out from Bill Maher that he'd made a mistake about his interpretation as to what is likely to be the overall economic effect of Trump. And he admits that he was wrong. And I'm prepared to admit that to some extent, many of us wanted to see the downfall of the United States, not just because of Donald Trump, but because of their sense of superiority, United States exceptionalism, the fact that the United States see themselves as the most powerful people on earth and don't give a crap about anybody else. So that was one reason, just about the United States in general, an anti-US approach, if you like. The other thing that I didn't like, of course, was the man himself, the personality, the type of person that Donald Trump is, and whether or not that is something that it needs to be, I guess, underlined. And the conclusion I've come to is that I don't think what happens in the United States in terms of what the outcomes are in relation to the Trump administration really matter. I think what is of primary concern is that they should choose someone that has a whole range of personality traits that makes him, in my view, ineligible to be the leader of the most powerful nation on this planet. And so I did ask that question, what personality traits does Donald Trump have which most people find objectionable? And the AI gave me I think a really handy overview of Trump. So I'm going to read out to you some of the comments that AI presented for me, because I agree with all of these. And I think it's important to highlight that these are general statements that most people, I guess, feel about Donald Trump. Now, the question I'm going to be asking you is, do you think that these traits mean that this person can govern a country appropriately with the types of traits that I'm about to mention to you? And as I mention them, I'll probably talk a little bit about what each one means and why that is important. Now, the first one is narcissism. He exhibits a grandiose sense of self-importance, constantly seeking praise and attention, from gold-plated branding to describing himself as a stable genius. Trump's self-admiration can come off as tone-deaf or delusional. So the question really there is that do you want a leader who doesn't listen, who doesn't see the issues as they actually are, and who has a delusional personality that sees himself as far more important than any of the issues that need to be resolved? Well, I don't think most of us want that sort of character at all. And the other one that fits with that is lack of empathy. His dismissive tone towards victims of disasters, minorities and political adversaries, often mocking or minimising their experiences, strikes many as cold and lacking compassion. And I think most of us would agree that that is an unhelpful way of describing somebody who we want to lead a country. So where they're mocking and where they don't tend to pay attention to the minorities or the people that are harmed by any disaster, for that matter. Dishonesty. Trump's frequent and blatant falsehoods, well documented by fact-checkers, have eroded trust. His casual relationship with the truth, even when facts are easily verifiable, is a major red flag for critics. Do we want a dishonest leader? Is that important to us? No, it isn't. We expect. I mean, if we're asking for transparency, which is what Trump is seeking, then would we be asking for that? No, we wouldn't. Aggressiveness and bullying. He uses insults, nicknames, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary, and personal attacks to dominate opponents. Many find his conduct juvenile, mean-spirited, or even dangerous in how to normalise aggressive discourse. Now, the other one here is, and this is a debatable issue, I guess, and that is whether he's got authoritarian tendencies. Trump's admiration for strong men, desire to undermine democratic institutions like the judiciary or free press, and attempts to overturn the 2020 election result have alarmed many who value liberal democracy. And, that he's heading in that direction. Not there yet, but certainly heading in that direction. Certainly should be a concern for most of us. Number 6 is vindictiveness. He often seeks revenge against those he perceives as having wronged him, whether through public humiliation, lawsuits, or political retribution. The pettiness undermines his claim to being a unifying leader. And then that last bit is really important. This pettiness undermines his claim to being a unifying leader. Lack of accountability is 7. Trump rarely admits mistakes or failures. Everything is either perfect, someone else's fault, or a conspiracy. Critics see this as a refusal to learn, grow, or take responsibility. Couldn't agree more with that. In the work that I've done over the years, taking responsibility and being accountable is important in terms of a person's individual and personal growth. 8. Sexism and racism. From the Access Hollywood tape to attacks on immigrants, women and minority politicians, Trump's comments and policies have been seen as misogynistic and racially inflammatory. No doubt about that. Number 9, manipulativeness. He's praised for his ability to manipulate media and public opinion, but many find his tactics dishonest and harmful, relying on division, fear, and spectacle. Number 10, Trump's erratic tweets. So this is impulsiveness. Trump's erratic tweets, policy reversals, and mood swings suggest a lack of emotional regulation and deliberation, traits most expect from someone handling nuclear codes, and also the traits that one would expect for a toddler to learn, not just him. But there are what they refer to in this AI piece is loyalty over competence. He often elevates loyalists over experts, which many see as a corrosive to good governance. In short, critics don't just oppose his policies, they often see his character as the biggest threat. It's not just what he does, it's how he does it and who he is while doing it. So I think these are important features, I guess, to mention about Trump. Because the point I'm making is, at the end of the day, is it really about the policies and how he implements them? Because even when it comes to tariffs and the stock exchange and how it responds, at the end of the day, the issue is, the stock exchange just takes care of itself. It doesn't really care. It now knows that Trump sort of sways from one side to the other, so it's unpredictable. So they're just sort of following this middle line, and they're not worrying about it too much. The impact of tariffs hasn't really happened yet because the ships are still on the ocean, still waiting to get here before that tariff gets charged. Is he going to be able to bring industry back to the United States? Some may be, but not a terrible lot. And will that eventually be his downfall? Who knows? So that's my take. The question I'm really asking also is, would we, if we know these are the characteristics of an individual we want to be leader of our country, and they're up front and they're presented to us, would we vote that person in? I think most of us, genuine people who look for integrity in individuals, would not. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. Do what you need to do. I really look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.